deceitfully, he shall receive the blessing from the Lord and a righteousness from the God of his salvation. Thank you, Jesus. Lift your name up. Lift you up. Lift you up. I want to lift up holy hands. And I give you my everything. Every breath that I take, each and every moment. Have your way. Lord, I give you my heart. Hallelujah. I give you my soul. Jesus. I live for you. I live only you, Jesus. I lift you up. I lift you up. I lift you up. Hallelujah. Every moment. Lord, have your way. Have your way, dear Jesus. Thank you. Praise you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Bless the name of the Lord. Jesus.
The ground report. The ground report.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago is not closing down Petrotrin.
The ground report. The ground report.
I would think that there's been very clear that all the employees of Petrotrin will exit the company. All.
The ground report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Join Andy Williams, Michael Kerr, and Lennox Smith, the Ground Report team on M1047 as they rip apart the lies, half-truth, and misinformation that the mainstream media never discuss. The Ground Report. Hard-hitting, informative, undiluted, uncompromising, and unfiltered. Monday to Friday on M104.7 FM. Get the raw facts before making any life-changing decisions. Only on The Ground Report.
Put food on your table. ADC is affordable. Shop at ADC Supermarket, Cleaver Road. A very comfortable and clean environment. These prices are unbelievable. Come see for yourself. We have the best alcohol prices. Don't miss out. Get those specials on liquor. Put food on your table with ADC Supermarket, conveniently located at number 4 Cleaver Road in Arima. Every Friday and Saturday is real vibes and live entertainment from your very own DJ Christian on Friday and Saturday. Everyone is talking about ADC Supermarket. Shop in comfort and in a clean environment with the best prices for all your grocery needs. Secured parking. Remember, free delivery. Put food on your table. ADC is affordable. ADC Supermarket, number 4 Cleaver Road in Arima.
Add some value to your good times with a Wow Bucket from KFC.
You have no time to cook cause you're stuck in traffic. You're working late, don't worry, we got it. Life hectic, KFC's on flick. For real value, come get it. Wow Bucket, wow, get yours now. When you only go where you like me. Wow Bucket, good for every bucket. Together is better with a Wow Bucket.
7 pieces of delicious chicken with a bucket of fries. The KFC Wow Bucket for $119.95. Bringing people together. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Chinese and RV Restaurant. Open for breakfast and lunch. 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. 67 Western Main Road, St. James, opposite Standard. Serving local breakfast items like sada, pies, fry and roasted baked with all your favorite fillings and assorted lunches. Available from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Get pilau as low as $25 or get combination lunches from $25 to $40. Crab and dumpling on Fridays, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Soup Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. A la carte with burgers, fries, nuggets, gyros, loaded hot dogs. just about anything you could think about. From 6 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. For more information, call 382-9347 to place your order. Chinese and Ari Restaurant. Open 7 days a week at St. James.
The big question today, how much will my electricity bill increase? Stop worrying. Act now. Replace your bulbs with energy-efficient LED bulbs now available at Trinity Lighting. When you purchase 4 60-watt LED bulbs for $112.50, you get 2 absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Or purchase 3 100-watt LED bulbs for the same price and get 1 100-watt LED bulb free. Trinity also has the following options. Purchase 2 4-foot LED tube or 1 8-foot or 2 LED colored bulbs for the same price, $112.50. At Trinity, we also stock specialty items and a wide range of electrical supplies for all your household, medical, marine, commercial, and much more. Any hard-to-find bulbs or parts, we can source it locally or internationally. Check us out at 123 Western Main Road in St. James or call 628-8373, WhatsApp 461-8620 or email trinityetc@yahoo.com.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life, because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
shine. Out of the ashes we rise. There's no one like you. is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. Our God is greater, our God is stronger. God, you are higher than any other. Our God is healer, awesome in power. Our God, our God. And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? And if our God is for us, then who could ever stop us? And if our God is with us, then what can stand against? Stand against.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
More FM 4.7.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check is 21 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. And you're listening to the Ground Report. Yours truly, the Pitbull of Radio, and Lennox Smith in studio. Mr. Pleasant, good morning to all maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, truckers. Good morning to you. To all senior citizens, a pleasant good morning to you. To the physically challenged disabled people, a pleasant good morning to you. Not forgetting our sister island, Tobago. Tobago, a pleasant good morning to you. To all loyal listeners, callers, well-wishers, haters, critics, a pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. Most importantly, to all stakeholders, patriots, Trinbagonians, people that will put their God and their family first before the race, religion, and politics that is destroying our country. As we move forward today, how could I forget all of you that are looking to us on Real Media TT on Facebook, Real Media TT on YouTube, Nadira Dairo Makano, all of you, Rol, Cyril Hanifadi Mohammed, Glasgow, Primraj, all of you, Anne-Marie, Tara, Charles, all of you, Balroop, a pleasant good morning, Jerome, Passad, Earl, Carmen, all of you, a pleasant good morning, Joe Williams, all of you, good morning to you, Biznat Passad, all of you, boy, Angela, Matilda Rose, good morning to you. Shirley, good morning. Ramcharan, a pleasant good morning. Maggie, good morning. Rajendra Maraj, good morning to you. All of you, Denise. How could I forget to Dave and Deborah? Ram Creek. Hi, Jimmy Ram Creek, all of you, a pleasant good morning to you that are locked on. Dennis C. Paul, Karen, Kenrick Passad, Savi, all of you. Mr. Ramnarayan, good morning, Akash, Mina Stein, all of you. Small boy electrical, good morning to you. A&A Doubles and Roti. Yes, Noel Brown, Gita Brown, Kevon, Sadia, all of you, good morning to you. Cyrus, good morning. Just take care of any Dyrus, eh? Brother Khaled, a pleasant good morning, researcher number 1. Teddy, good morning, Miss Brooklyn. Miss John, good morning, Auntie Pat. Hey, Esther, Mother Bernie, all of you. The Silver Fox, all of you, a pleasant good morning. Darren, the electrician and his wife, a pleasant good morning. Miss Lorna, good morning. Miss Lawrence, a pleasant good morning. Jimmy Ram Creek, good morning to you. All of you that are locked on, all. All right, let me go with the time check. Time check again, it's 25 minutes past the hour. We have an interview in the 7 o'clock hour, 7 o'clock, with a couple of PAN members dealing with the issue of the land and what they feel is a real discrepancies that took place, how it is, all they could give away nearly 200 lots of land to just receive 1 lot to 2 lot. Yes, an abandoned building, but look at the abandoned building. That people believe it has a good structure. For a same abandoned building, you don't give away land, but with the building, you get a building that you kind of occupied. So you trade more land for less. You trade a big building, incomplete, for a small building, incomplete. So it means, what did you do? What did you really do? And Lennox Smith, a pleasant good morning to you, and I want to understand if you understand what I'm saying based on this morning's interview on the whole situation of PAN. And besides that, the motor toll, We also have an issue to bring forward based on Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Again, trying to sell gun violence as a health crisis in Trinidad and Tobago using America. Where in Trinidad and Tobago the Constitution don't allow us guns. Commissioner of Police. Whereby in America, every citizen could earn a gun is within the Constitution. And I just paint it down the way that I understand it. And for Dr. Rowley to come and use America as a precedent, whereby gun violence is a teacher, a child will shoot a teacher, a police will shoot a police, and you're having those things on a regular basis with people who have access to the guns. Comparing to Trinidad here, we can't line it up the same way because children ain't taking no gun to go into school to teach no shoot no teacher. Lennox Smith, again, come in, break down that again to me, boy, because I want to make sure I understand it properly. When it comes to
I want to tell you, well said. I think you have explained, or should I say, expressed the fundamental of this matter, and that Dr. Rowley is totally out of sync, or he is suffering from an acute case of what what in Latin is called non-compos mentis, of unsound mind, trying, of course, to generate a square peg in round hole argument that because the Surgeon General in the United States declared gun violence, remember gun violence, as a public health matter, he is attempting to say that, look, he caused 3 million, according to him, of our money to accommodate persons from the Caribbean, leaders, etc., to have a symposium here, and therefore that is justification. What the American Surgeon General said is justification for what he has said. A total attempt to mislead the people once again. And that is why you have the ground reporter to stand at the doorsteps, to stand in the middle to let you know what the facts are. The fact of the matter is there could be no comparison between both. First and foremost, the Surgeon General said in certain terms, and sorry about that, but good morning to all and sundry, East, West, North, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are in the world. But this was so concerning as we had to start with it, because there's another case of Dr. Rowley attempting to try to hoodwink you and to put himself above the cloth, or so to speak, and that somehow he is visionary, etc. No, the Surgeon General said that gun violence, he will make it a public health issue because of, one, the proliferation of guns and the constitutional right of people. In other words, you could get a gun as if walking into a store in Trinidad to buy clothes.
Nice, but first, before we lost, who is the person that said that, and where that person who said that lives?
The Surgeon General of the United States, is the chief medical person in the United States, said that.
Right.
So I'm making the point that Dr. Rowley said that violence, not gun violence, but violence is a public health issue, and therefore cause us to use our money to spend to accommodate these people, what I consider to be a 2-day frolic in order to justify an argument that it is a health matter. And we were caricaturing it, we were dismissing it, we were contemptuous of it, and we were saying, well, according to Dr. Rowley, if a man point a gun at you and he discharged the bullet from the gun aiming at you, all you have to do is to find the nearest pharmacy, and then they will give you something to cure it. That is how ridiculous it was and still is. Has nothing to do with the Surgeon General of the United States declaring that gun violence is a medical phenomenon or a medical issue in United States. because of the proliferation and because of the regularity and the ease with which, and of course, it's part and parcel of their culture. The gun lobbyists in the United States will defend to the hilt their right to bear arms and to hold arms. A different scenario in Trinidad and Tobago. And what has happened as a consequence of that liberal situation as far as guns and ammunition is concerned is that in schools, a young fella get vexed with the next fella. It's easy to pick up daddy or his or find a gun anywhere in somebody's cupboard, on the chair, on the table, and so on, and come to school and of course and deal with his issue as he sees please. A domestic situation, you have a regular situation where the man shooting the woman shooting the man. On the streets, a fella driving bad, he pull out the gun and he shoot, etc. That is what the Surgeon General was talking about.
Which is in United States, right? So the Surgeon General of Trinidad and Tobago, for the layman, in all what Lennox Smith is bringing to the table there, that is something that going on in America, where all of them have the right to bear arm. Where to get a gun is very, very easy. To get a gun is within the law. Compared to us, to get a gun, have a process, it's not an easy thing. We can't just go and buy a gun. We can't just go and practice to shoot a gun like Alwari children them on no range unless we have a FIU, right? So hence the reason, there's no way no child in school will just easily just get a gun and go into school to get vexed. But well, no way a husband and a wife get away and a husband or a wife could just have easy access to just get a gun.
In the American society, that could happen, but not here in Trinidad. So Dr. Rowley is very disingenuous, very dishonest, and there is an incongruency as far as that relationship or ratification by the Surgeon General in the United States to his suggestion that, of course, violence in Trinidad and Tobago should be considered to be a medical or a public health issue. And of course, we have a clip that will back it up with what the surgeon said, what he said, and therefore you will make your own conclusion as a consequence. We are not asking you to follow us, but what we are telling you that we place the argument as they ought to be in context, and therefore Dr. Wally is attempting out of context to put his argument as violence being a public health issue in the context of that of the United States, and of course attempting to get congruency as far as the Surgeon General of the United States is concerned. And I say it is dishonest,
two different things,
dissembling, and it is ironic and ought not to be countenanced by anyone with a modicum of common sense.
Right,
yes.
Thanks, Zaro, FUL. Right, so just to finish, make it clear before I play the clip again. Yes, ago, some people may throw out, well, yeah, it's easy for a man to get a gun, but in order for you to get a gun in Trinidad, you had to either apply for it.
It's illegal. It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
So yeah.
Right.
By and large, it is illegal as far as not going through the firearms users license process.
Right. We lost in your Lennox.
Which, of course, today, ultimately, not a similar state of affairs in the United States. It's like going to buy clothes in a store. And that is the big difference. And therefore, the use of it has evolved into a situation where the Surgeon General thought it fit to now declare it a state of emergency as far as health is concerned, because too many people, in fact, is the highest. Listen again. According to survey in the United States, is the highest cause of death among teenagers in the United States. That cannot happen in Trinidad and Tobago. So let us not fool ourselves and not allow Dr. Rowley to be some kind of guru and that he has some kind of special, what I consider to be crystal ball. And therefore, them
Let
come
me play
last
the clip.
and he is first.
Yes,
Go ahead, play the
because
clip.
there's a lengthy kind of clip.
With a population, of course, of 333 million
Dr.
people
Rowley
we are
said
talking about
violence
here.
is becoming
United
too
States
prevalent,
population.
and as a result, the public is becoming too desensitized to the issue. This is what he had to say.
And Tobago, the time has come for us to declare violence as a public health emergency.
The U.S. Surgeon General just declared that gun violence is a public health crisis in America. He cited numbers showing that gun violence is now the leading cause of death among teens and kids. This is nationwide, and as we shared with you just last night at 5, right here in the Bay Area, with law enforcement and the Hillsborough State Attorney working to expand and do more to also end gun violence. Here's Natalie Brand.
With too many summer weekends ending with a staggering tally of shootings across the U.S., the nation's top doctor, Vivek Murthy, says enough is enough.
Gun violence is a public health crisis in our country that requires a public health solution.
The Surgeon General is making this first of its kind declaration with firearms now the leading cause of death in children and teens, while more than half of adults say they or a family member have experienced a gun-related incident. Following the massacre at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, that killed 19 children and 2 adults in 2022, Congress passed bipartisan gun safety legislation, the first major federal bill to address the issue in 30 years. But since then, additional measures have stalled in a divided Congress. Dr. Murthy says it's time to take the issue out of politics.
The good news is there's a lot we can do. There are, for example, community violence intervention programs that we can invest in. There are safe storage education programs that we can expand. There are firearm risk reduction strategies like background checks.
And gun violence is taking a toll on the nation's mental health, according to the Surgeon General, with nearly 80% of adults saying they stress about the possibility of a mass shooting, and half of the country's children worried about a shooting in their school. He's also calling for doctors to promote gun safety education during regular visits.
The Surgeon General just declared firearm violence a public health crisis. You're probably watching this thinking, okay, but will anything actually happen this time? Fox News poll from last year. He recommended mandatory universal background checks. When Fox News asked Americans if we should require criminal background checks on all gun buyers, 87% agreed. He recommended measures that put space between firearms and people that are at risk of hurting themselves or others. When Fox News asked Americans if we should require mental health checks on gun buyers, 80% agreed. 80% also agreed police should be able to take guns from those considered a danger to themselves or others. He recommended a civilian ban on assault weapons. When Fox News asked Americans if we should ban assault rifles and semi-automatic weapons, 61% agreed. Gun control advocates and the Surgeon General hope that by framing this as a public health crisis, this uniquely American phenomenon will finally be addressed.
Dr. Rowley said violence is becoming too prevalent, and as a result, the public is becoming too desensitized to the issue. This is what he had to say.
And Tobago, the time has come for us to declare violence as a public health emergency. I think in Trinidad and Tobago, the time has come for us to declare violence as a public health emergency.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, we get the drift,
Yes, so it is clear. There's 2 different things we are talking about here. The Surgeon General is talking about gun violence and the pervasiveness of the incidents relating to gun violence in every part of the society. This is not the case, and it's impossible to happen in Trinidad. And at any rate, Dr. Rowley was talking about violence and not gun violence per se, to try to make a square peg in a round hole argument by saying that the Surgeon General agree with him. That is what he's trying to say. It is totally disingenuous, dishonest, intellectually and otherwise, and therefore should be seen for what it is. We must put it in the context and not give Dr. Rowley any credit for something that clearly has happened by accident, and of course a phenomenon of the United States. The fact is that there has been domestic violence, as we explained earlier, on the roads, in the schools, etc. That does not happen in Trinidad as far as guns are concerned, because you cannot. It is simply not that prevalent. I'm talking about the access to guns, even in circumstances where it is illegally acquired. But you have home invasions, yes, and you have gang warfare with illegal guns, clearly. But in the United States, all of this could happen with legal guns.
Nice. So you all are sure you all understand? Yeah. Legally, that happening in Trinidad. To get legal gun, it is them getting guns illegally. Let's go to the lines. The lines are open. Trinidad and Tobago time check. It's 18 minutes to the hour of 7 o'clock, and you're listening to the Ground Report. Yours truly, the Pitbull of Radio, Lennox Smith in studio. Well, I see it have a voice note here from a Trinidadian American. We might be agreeing with what Lennox Smith is saying, but let me hear.
Andy, somebody needs to ask Rowley. Someone needs to ask Rowley. Is it in our constitution that we could bear arms? Anybody could bear arms over 18 in our constitution? And after, even though the American constitution, I tell you again, the guy is a dummy. The guy is a lunatic. He's a nincompoop. The guy is fit for the lunatic asylum. Ask him if the Trinidad constitution says you can bear arms. And how do they get guns in Trinidad? If they just go do the course and get a gun and buy a gun once you're over 18. I mean, this guy is so stupid. He's a garaha, a donkey.
Right, so what's that foreigner?
I mean, it's overbearing, man, Rowley. You're overbearing. I mean, any port for a story, you're so desperate that you capitalize on that.
Next caller. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, morning.
Go ahead, caller.
Enterprise,
go ahead.
Andy, I want to tell you something. What happened, right? With the police and a guy making a report stating that it have an invasion home attack, right? The police and them say that they have no vehicle right now, right? The guy do so and ring back and tell the police, look, you now kill one of the man. Only in about half an hour time, 3 police vehicles.
They got vehicles.
3 police vehicles reach up there, and where they get vehicle from, what kind of police force, what kind of commissioner, what kind of operation we have in this country concerning the safety of human being in this country with the police force. Where they get 3 vehicles in half an hour time. The police and them only giving tickets and seatbelts and points in this country. That is the police we have. I'm not giving them wrong, because them have gone to bust plywood, but the bandit and them have gone to bust engine block. So right now the police and them shitting on themselves. The police and them buying Pampers and walking with it in the bag. Because when they're going on a scene, they're shitting on themselves.
Now, don't use the language now. We can't use that language.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry.
More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
Nice. Trinidad and Tobago, the lines are open. The numbers to call 229-0251, 229-0251, or 239-5120, 239-5120. Or give us a WhatsApp call at 366-3053, 366-3053. Lennox Smith, don't forget to get that clip of Kamala Prasad Bissessa calling on unity and what's more, Monday that speech.
I'm doing that as we speak.
Nice. Right, and don't forget Trinidad and Tobago in the 7 o'clock hour. We'll be interviewing some pan men. Let me let you all know. Let me just go on the Dexter and Gita. Good morning to you all. Morning caller.
Good morning. Good morning, Sharon. God bless all your boys doing a very good job. All you're trying to save Trinidad and Tobago and to save the youths. All you're trying to help the elderly and all you're trying to see things go good. Now, I want to know this. I see what Dr. Rai Ragdale did, right? Now it's have 4 of them again. I wonder if Kamala going to keep them.
Mommy, with due respect, at this point in time, the issues in which we are talking about is very serious. Dr. Rowley declared gun violence a public health issue here in Trinidad and Tobago. We just bring the evidence that he's talking stupidness. A foreigner who lives in America, a foreign Trinidadian, just call and say if Rowley's a quack, if to show us anyway in the Constitution, in Trinidad Constitution, in which we could just go get a gun compared to Americans, where they could just go just buy a gun. You're 18 years old, you go do a course and you can get a gun. And we also dealing with the issue in the 8 o'clock hour based on the Panman land that the Panman and them right. We not in no way on the ground report we'll be dealing with any issue dealing with Rackbill or dealing with the internal elections and dealing with what this and that. We not going to deal with them thing at all. With all respect, we not going to deal with them thing. We sticking to the bread and butter issues, the things that at the end of the day means thing. We not going to let the PNM propaganda machine be a part of this program, whereby our leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa already say move on. Meaning, forget them. The new executive, the new executive will deal with them. Will deal with them. Yeah.
On the ground report.
Right. The new executive will deal. They will go through the constitution of the UNC and they will see what they have to do with them. But we the members had to forget that. The leader say move on. It's about unity. The enemy is the PNM. All hands is needed on deck, and that the direction we are to stay. Right. So you could come with any other thing other than Rai or this one or anything dealing with the internal elections. We're not allowing it on the ground report.
All right, okay. Well, I have to think very careful.
Nice.
Before I have to go next election.
All right. So you could go with any other topic. You went to the hospital recently to do any surgery?
No.
All right.
I was thinking because I wanted a guideline what I think I should do as an elderly now.
Oh, as an elderly. All right. And to vote, right? To vote?
What I should do, what going on in fact, what I should really do for what I see.
Oh, for what you seeing. What you supposed to...
What I see Dr. Iran will do then.
Right. And what everybody see what they did or who doing and however we see. And we are all sensible enough to know that some people being fair, some people being not. And the main thing what you're supposed to do at the end of the day, when that time reach, and the general election call, the main thing is don't vote for the PNM.
Well, no, me no PNM, you know.
Nice, very good. So that's the only alternative we have.
I could never in my life be a PNM. I vote for Bunsen. I added like Chambers.
Nice.
I could never vote PNM.
All right.
Thank you, son.
All right, thanks so much. Nice. Let's get to the lines. Oh boy, big issues. Oh boy. Lennox Smith, please, in case anybody is offended with what I just did there, please explain short and sweet. Get the clip. So all I got to do is just play what Kamala is saying. So the members will understand. Let we don't fall in those traps. Take what we stay there. When we stay there now and let we say the executive of the UNC go now and expel and do this and do that. Instead of the mainstream media, like situations were going on where people can, and they wouldn't go and investigate and put what going on in front. Christmas lists go and do a lot more than them. Watch how dirty it will be. It could be dirty, let me say the infighting continue. You know when we all ain't getting Mexican hospital? You're going to hear the news go start. The UNC have expelled Rai Ragbir. And that all in the headlines. And all of this. And we just dancing in the hands. I don't want to dance in the dirty, nasty, treacherous, overbearish, wicked piping, Rowley and the PNM administration hands. I have my hands to clean. And the hands that we have is to get rid of them. Right? Nice. Morning, caller.
Morning, Andy, Lennox, Mikey K. With this land thing, the pan and I see.
Boy. That will be talking about. That will be to talk about.
Then tell the land I feel like give it away to the people and them, the financiers and somebody they know for something. This government is so wicked. Everything they're selling out, they're giving away, and they're building big buildings, spending all the money, and then putting this fault on the opposition leader. They're taking all the money, they're doing all the things, they're putting aside the money for their generation to come. Nothing for we. Go walk through Frederick and Charlotte Street and see how much people have stores. See who are running the buildings there. No people, nothing again. See what's going on. Just now is all kind of people coming to take over this country. You hear what I'm telling you? They don't start already because they're doing their thing underneath, not telling us what's going on, but they're doing it piece by piece. But God will deal with them. This government is always a wicked government.
Thanks very much, Mr. Lahoketa. Long time I hear Mr. Lahoketa. It's about the people that I ain't heard. William McLone. All you gotta do is you debate, but just be respectful. All of you there. That democracy here. I can't tell you all what elephant and what room that you all can talk about, but what I can tell you all, in this room, we don't want to disunited. We don't want to go back there. It's over. Over. Also, Lennox Smith, could you get for me the issue of Rowley when he talk about the land, the Panchenbego land and da. Yeah, the government talk to the Indian businessman. Take away the...
You have Kamala's statement on reunity, if you want to call that, or putting things aside and let's move on.
All right. I want a speech on that. She talk reunity. She talk unity. Yes. Right. Her statements. What's my Kamala Prasad says speech Monday day was absolutely remarkable. You know, it's now for the membership to read between the lines what the lady is saying and move forward. That gone.
As has been in the past, even though this one was the most, what I consider to be, contested in a very vehement way, vigorously. All right.
Oh gosh, I want you send it normal video, right? Let me see.
Yeah, send it normal.
Right. I will put it up on the screen in a bit, but before I do that, don't call. Let me just play the audio aspect of it with immediate effect, so you all will know that really and truly on this program, I don't want to hear nothing about the internal elections that done gone. It have a new executive swear in. The course will take the constitution of the UNC will take its course. Whether who break rank, who break rank, then staying within that fight. Me not on that. Right? Only listen now. Listen.
All forces must come together.
All forces
must police.
Hey, listen to Kamala Prasad be saying, boy. Oh boy. What a lady. Let me hear this little lady here.
The election results are now official. The time has come for our party to move forward from these internal elections. We are all UNC members, and there is a space and a place for every single UNC member sharing our values.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
oh boy. Kamala Prasad, sister, please raise my paws again now. It means we're on the right track. The track you on, the ground report is on the same track. Unity, it have a space for everybody. Oh God, Kamala, raise it again, please.
Bang, bang, bang.
4.7.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Supporters of both slates must
Nice. I want to catch it back from the beginning, man. So I hope we are sending a very good message to all UNC. We are all UNC. The time have come to put this internal election thing behind us. What is before us is bigger than that. What is before us is our bread and butter. What is before us is if it is the pan man, we'll be able to get back the land. As if we can get the property tax drop. If we can find out where we 3 billion is. If we can get medicine in the hospitals. If we can get surgeries on time. Oh God! Oh gosh, boy! Not to fall in the traps or in the hands of Dr. Keith Wicked Rowley and the PNM and the wickedness that are being portrayed on us. That same wickedness, unfairness that have been portrayed by Dr. Rowley on us is the exact same wickedness, unfairness, with a lack of transparency and accountability in what they're doing is what occurred with the PAN, where the president of the, that's just my because I don't call she, you know. At the end of the day, by fair chance, that is what occurred. That same level of disrespect is what was occurred where the property of band members, band leaders, band managers, band Trinbago on the whole. Because if it had consultations with what went on there and the giving up of nearly 200 acres of 200 lots of land to just receive 1 lot, 2 lots, with a building there that ain't finished to receive an abandoned building that have to fix. And there is no way I'm seeing a board of directors or all the members with the president, because she can't make decisions like that. Pan Trinbago president cannot make decisions like that on her own. Unless all of them who are saying wrong the table, smoking real bad weed, drinking old rum, the wicked, they're not well in the head, to actually agree. To actually agree. Or some of them will be going through domestic violence that they're not thinking right. They maybe lost a child or a mother recently, because I cannot see a normal person sitting down. Or other executive members sitting down and allowing the president of Pan Trinbago to make decisions like that. How the hell you can give it 200, nearly 200 lots of land to receive 1 lot to 2 lots? How you give away a big building so, and that lot of that land have plans for a gas station, hotel, pan, theater, ways make pan, because pan is a national instrument. It would have generated real money for Pan Trinbago and all those various things. Land. Pan Trinbago could have put themselves in a situation where they could have used the land as collateral, go to the bank just like the 1% of them that gain. We state land and lease for a year, 199 years and all those things, and gain 50 million, 100 million borrow from the bank, establishing the business without spending a cent, and then turning around making money. That same thing could have gone with Pan Trinbago. Understand? So this thing, before it sign off with any Indian people, with any Indian businessman, to take poor man land, or most of all the people that display pan the most is African Trinidadians. Again, why black people must own land? Time check. Let me go back to what Kamala Prasad Bisesa says. So again, on this program, we don't want to hear nothing about what went on in the past. Nothing. Right. The honorable leader of the opposition, what's what is her thinking, in case many of you didn't hear her on Monday, please God, compared to what is you all thinking. And you all think it could only be dangerous. And it will only defeat the purpose of we getting rid of this tax and lying thief and outsmarting a president of Trinbago to give away so much, sign off so much, and in return get back nothing. Nothing. Right. So let's go again. This honorable lady Kamala Prasad Bisesa. So to all UNC members, whether it's a supporter, a RAI, the other team, or the star team, or whatever team, that gone. We are no longer allowing on this program nobody to say nothing about no UNC person. At the end of the day, as Kamala say, all of we is UNC. Listen to what she said, not Andy saying it, you know. What's the boss of a speech or message? That message wasn't only for us. It was for all of them too. Nice. All don't call the phone right now, please. Yeah, all give all a chance. Don't call the phone. I'm going to play Kamala Prasad Bisesa's speech. Don't call the phone. I'm using the phone to play the speech. So I hope you all understand that.
The election results are now official. The time has come for our party to move forward from these internal elections. We are all UNC members, and there is a space and a place for every single UNC member sharing our values. We are all UNC. There is room for all. Members and supporters of all slates must now move on together for the greater good of the party and ultimately.
Members and supporters of all slates, Kamala Prasad is talking to you. Members and supporters of all slates, move on. It only can be bad. The reason why she will make a speech like that is if we don't move on, it will be detrimental to all of us. Let's Kamala Prasad Bisesa continue.
For the greater good of our nation. Supporters of both slates must now work together. All anger, bitterness, or hurt should be forgiven. I know it may take some time, which is the nature of life. There will be ups and downs all the time in our lifetime, but there will always be happiness, and therefore anger must not be there. We must always be able to love and forgive. I was seen in this party for many years, been here many years. This party is 35 years old. And I have seen, in the time that I've joined this party, I've seen the fallout with Mr. Robinson. You all remember that? The loss of government due to a fight, because of the fight between Mr. Pandey and Mr. Maraj and that team unity. You all remember that? We lost the government. We saw the separation of Mr. Pandey and Mr. Dukaran. We saw my challenge to Mr. Pandey. And you saw after that challenge, those who did not support me, I made them big ministers, you know. I brought them in after. I said, because we were all UNC. We are all UNC. We saw the departure of Mr. Warner in 2013. We saw the subsequent internals between 2015 and now. As I said, this has been the worst of all. Throughout all of these events, the UNC has survived, and we have always moved on. The UNC is bigger than any individual or ego. The UNC is a belief system. the party will always move forward. And so I can call on all members of each slate and their supporters to now forgive and move forward.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Oh God, boy! Only here she. And the honorable lady was preach that after anyhow what the ground report have been preaching. Move forward, unity. The bigger issue is the PNM. Let we on the ground forgive, forget, and move on. There is some way not. But let we, in the majority, do what is best. She bring all kind of examples of all the fallouts that the results and we losing an election or not winning an election. What is more important? Grudges, hate, bitterness, and even Rowley them there? Oh God, boy. But try to move forward, unite. Come together. Win the elections when we could change around many things. There room for all. Make your choice. Stick within the devil of hate, bitterness. They should do them this. They should that. They should this. And see where that ends up. Or think godly. Let's forgive each other, move on. Let's unite. There's a space for all. We must learn by the lessons that being sent. We should learn by all lessons, the lessons that being sent. Thanks so much, Anna Ramsamy, for my passion. Have me talking a little passionate, which it gets loud. And I will want you all to understand what I'm saying without the passion overwearing the message. So I hope those of you who understand what I said, while passionate, and I was a little loud, I'm speaking very softly now, hoping that you all understand why we don't want no talk on this program about no X or no elections that go on. It gone. And for those of you who now lock on, the ground report have stated long before Kamala Prasad, Bissessa, this honorable lady, that the internal elections is over. Infighting among each other and hating up and beating up on each other could never work in the better interest of all of us. God listened to us while we were saying that we are sure that Kamala Prasad Bissessa is capable of handling unity or any coming together of all masses, even within our own party. She have matured. We stated all of that on the ground report. And lo and behold, we are actually seeing that Kamala Prasad Bissessa and our advisors also listen to the ground report. Or even if it's not the ground report she get it from, that the little lady, that nice little lady, understands exactly what we were saying. And look, she sent a message to all of you who hate this one and who hate that one and who hate the other one and who this and who that. And I will play the message again because we need to go into the interview with the pan men that are waiting for me to call them. Safrad Abu Bakr and all is one of the people that will be in this interview. I will give you all the names of the rest of people. The interview based on that land that was given by the Pandey administration back then. Peter Kanhai can contest to that. He was instrumental in that. And then, let me say a pleasant good morning to Dave Tanku and everybody that I know. So long as our next government come, The same way the land was given by the UNC government under Pandey, taken away, but not taken away, signed back, give back by a certain president of Panchanbago at this point in time. For less of a value, take it down, Andy, take it down. For less of a value of what it is they sign back over, it will only take a government to just reassign it back and tell the Indian company, no, we can't get that land, we got to look for other land somewhere. Or let me go into agreement with the government, or they could go in agreement with us, with the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, where it's supposed to have all those various things, and the Indian businessman could partner with the government of Trinidad and Tobago with all the lands that the Brian Lara Cricket Academy have around it, so we could organize and the Manning Dream that they spent over $1 billion first for, and then we had to spend over 200 or how much, nearly $500 million to complete, or however it reached there. From back then when we know about power washing contract, where minister's wife and them get to just power wash the roof of that building. I think the deal with the Indian company or cricket people could work best into a partnership with the government. Let me use the Brian Lara Stadium, the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, and build on that and build around that. I think so, right? So again, for those of you who know lock on this program, we don't want to hear nothing about the internals. It's gone. And all we want to hear is the message of what it is all of us leader said. And listen to her again.
The election results are now official. The time has come for our party to move forward from these internal elections. We are all UNC members, and there is a space and a place for every single UNC member sharing our values. We are all UNC. There is room for all. Members and supporters of all slates must now move on together for the greater good of the party and ultimately for the greater good of our nation. Supporters of both slates must now work together. All anger, bitterness, or hurt should be forgiven. I know it may take some time, which is the nature of life. There will be ups and downs all the time in our lifetime, but there will always be happiness, and therefore anger must not be there. We must always be able to love and forgive. I was seen in this party for many years, been here many years. This party is 35 years old. And I have seen, in the time that I've joined this party, I've seen the fallout with Mr. Robinson. You all remember that? The loss of government due to a fight, because of the fight between Mr. Pandey and Mr. Maraj and that team unity. You all remember that? We lost the government. We saw the separation of Mr. Pandey and Mr. Dukaran. We saw my challenge to Mr. Pandey. And you saw after that challenge, those who did not support me, I made them big ministers, you know. I brought them in after. I said, because we were all UNC. We are all UNC. We saw the departure of Mr. Warner in 2013. We saw the subsequent internals between 2015 and now. As I said, this has been the worst of all. Throughout all of these events, the UNC has survived, and we have always moved on. The UNC is bigger than any individual or ego. The UNC is a belief system. The party will always move forward. And so I can call on all members of each slate and their supporters to now forgive and move forward.
Nice. So I am calling on Councillor Neil De Silva and Das and all of you all to move on. All of you are UNC together. All of you within the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation. that supported the Honorable Slate, in which I and all support the Star Slate. And within the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation and Sandy Grande Toco, Sandy Grande Valencia, it have people and all that supported Rai Rakbir and them and their slate. It had a bitterness in between there, where people accusing me of being a wrong people. This one betrayed the leader. Look, they're supporting this slate. That one betrayed the leader. Look, they're supporting that. Look, I is not the father of Das or the husband of Das. I is me. The fact is, Andy Williams did not support that slate. He support the slate Star, in which Kamala Prasad Bisasa endorsed. Now all of this is behind us. We have the Grande seat to win. With or without me, we have the Grande seat to win. And all the UNCs within Sandy Grande Toco Valencia, look, put all the differences aside. Councillors, chairman, vice chairman, every alderman, alderwoman, put our differences aside now. For the sake of the people of Toco Sandy Grande that needs proper representation. Because it can't do good for none of us, as Kamala Prasad Bisasa said. Let's move forward. Everybody needs to move forward. The bigger picture is the PNM. The fight now is not to stay in opposition. The fight now is to win various seats. And then we get ourselves in government and fix this mess that the PNM have us in. So again, let me play the leader, Kamala Prasad Bisasa, again. And that is not only that, what I showed here, is not only for Toco Sandy Grande and the split. The same split that Kamala mentioned with oh God, Ramesh and them, Dukaran, this one, that one, that go on in many various constituencies. Where we better with each other, who support what slate, what support what slate, me all know he, me all know she, this one is a dog, that one is a dog. This one be treaty leader, Andy stay away from that one, Andy stay away from this one. Boy, I can't stay away from nobody. That is not of me. I go work with you only if you not working with them. And oh God, boy, when it go done? When? And that not only privilege to Toco Sandy Grande Valencia what's going on. That is a privilege to many other constituencies in which this internal elections that gone brought about. Yes. So now the leader have spoken. If it had that breakdown in Arima, dust off everybody, only dust off all itself. All always UNC. If it had that breakdown in Rai Rakbir constituency up there in Manzelena up there, Komoto Manzelena, all they hear where it is. Whether who is part of who executive, who this, who that, who support, who in this, who in that. Why? Let we move on. As a team. Everybody. For the bigger picture.
I must add, of course, the repercussions, the outcome of that was reflected manifestly in the two by-elections. Let's not waste time. We know that at minimum, the level of victory of the PNM in Indian Walk ought to have been much, much more narrow and challenging. But because of the fallout that ought not to have occurred. But I accept I accept the fact the proximity between, of course, the conclusion of the elections and people still, of course, have heated positions, and the election just coming 2 days after would have created, of course, a cooling down period that was not tenable in human circumstance. But at the end of the day, you ought to know that you are UNC and you ought to have gotten out there and, of course, do what you have to do in order, at minimum, to narrow, if the UNC was to be defeated in Indian Walk, at least narrow the degree of defeat. Of course, it was a fait accompli in the other constituents, the other electoral district that was up for the by-elections. But the PNM would not have been able to make any gains at all there. And that direct result of this so-called inability to quickly mend and coalesce and understand that is one party, and that when it comes to the enemy, which is the PNM, enemy in more ways than one, and to the people, not just the UNC, then we need to understand that we must coalesce, we must amalgamate, we must coagulate our resources in order to make certain that the victory that we expect to be handsome, and that this should be a lesson as we move forward to 2025. Kamala Persad-Bissessar did what she had to do, but of course, it was too late. It was after the election itself, and because of, as I said, the proximity between the internals and that of the by-elections would have created a very small window for mending tempers and for cooling down tempers, and that would have been reflected in the so-called vain, or should I say hollow victory that the PNM claim in both electoral districts, both in terms of increase in support and in terms of the actual victory of about 500 in the case of Indian Walk. Let us not fall in that trap again. Listen to Kamala Persad-Bissessar.
Yes, we have to play her again. Yes, man. So, and that after that, people have to move on. It don't matter who is who brother-in-law, who is who sister-in-law, who big day, who small so, who up there and who could pull string, and who, no, that wouldn't augur well. It's time to move on. Nice. Because there's a lot of things I could have come here and talk about, but it could never be beneficial to the bigger picture, which is Dr. Rowley. Especially with what's going on within the area in which I'm interested. So let's listen.
This morning, they realized that Dr. Rowley, and they are struggling. Imagine something happening in America, and he tried to make it look as though they're following he. When, of course, they have their own issue, and it's a totally two different issues altogether. I'm talking about, of course, he's saying violence as a public health issue in Trinidad, whilst, of course, in the United States, the Surgeon General is saying gun violence is a public health issue in America. And Rowley is trying, of course, to make both of them appear to be the same when they are incongruent.
Nice.
Go ahead.
So here it is. Let me play Kamala Persad-Bissessar and we get to this very important interview of Pan and the Pan Man land. Well, mostly African people. We like national instrument. Oh, come on now, man. Say again to all. Whether you're in Tocos and the Grande Valencia, Arima, Tonapuna, Tego Martin, Sawa Barataria, St. Joseph, St. Augustine. Coming up there, who else missing there? Whether you're Komoto, Manzelena, whether you're San Fernando, East, West, whether you're Barapo, Caroni, and whatever fragment or fragmentation that you all had during the internals. No, as Kamala said, nobody's bigger. When people feel that this person big in day, and that one big in day, and next one big in day, everybody big then. Come on, man. Listen to the message, and this conversation with the internal done on this program. And every day, I'll play her message. Let's go again.
The election results are now official. The time has come for our party to move forward from these internal elections. We are all UNC members, and there is a space and a place for every single UNC member sharing our values. We are all UNC. There is room for all. Members and supporters of all slates must now move on together for the greater good of the party and ultimately for the greater good of our nation. Supporters of both slates must now work together. All anger, bitterness, or hurt should be forgiven. I know it may take some time, which is the nature of life. There will be ups and downs all the time in our lifetime, but there will always be happiness, and therefore anger must not be there. We must always be able to love and forgive. I was seen in this party for many years, been here many years. This party is 35 years old. And I have seen, in the time that I've joined this party, I've seen the fallout with Mr. Robinson. You all remember that? The loss of government due to a fight, because of the fight between Mr. Pandey and Mr. Maraj and that team unity. You all remember that? We lost the government. We saw the separation of Mr. Pandey and Mr. Dukaran.
Don't call. Right.
Those who did not support me, I made them big ministers, you know.
Right, go ahead, Kamala.
I brought them in after. I said, because we were all UNC. We are all UNC. We saw the departure of Mr. Warner in 2013. We saw the subsequent internals between 2015 and now. As I said, this has been the worst of all. Throughout all of these events, the UNC has survived, and we have always moved on. The UNC is bigger than any individual or ego.
Say it
the
again.
UNC is a belief system. The party will always move forward. And so I can call on all members of each slate and their supporters to now forgive and move forward.
Bang, bang, bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
I was going to the Oval one evening, and I stopped as it was drizzling, and a radio station was on. And on that radio station, which wasn't my favorite station, but it was on in the vehicle I was in, a most vulgar and outrageous radio program was on the airwaves, called the Ground Report. You all remember that? In that report, it was the nastiest, dirty. As a matter of fact, what caught my attention was how filthy the program was on our airwaves. And I was asking myself, how could this be permitted on the airwaves of Trinidad and Tobago, election or no election? And it was all about me and my father and my mother and this, and I had raped this, and I had done that, and the Ground Report. They want to know what the plan is? The plan is to put an end to this.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
More FM 104.7.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Nice, Lennox Smith. Let's organize and put ourselves together while I make those calls, and let's see if I can link all these people that want answers from their president. Well, you will let the people know who is the president of Pan Trinbago. Give them an idea of the issue in which is being discussed. And then I will give you an idea. Well, I will let everyone introduce yourselves. Oh boy, Lennox Smith. Give me the opportunity by the time, will you? To just be able to link these calls.
We are not going to have for a break first because it will give me time to put the clip together.
Oh, we go take a break
from different sources.
All right,
yeah,
we go for a quick break.
Sources, right?
All right, we go for a quick break.
Mr. Ramsey Moore, the president.
Nice. So you will be able to put everything together too. Send that clip from Rowley talking about getting already.
Give a preliminary introductory. Yes.
Nice. All right, man. Trinidad and Tobago, we go for a quick break and come back. All pan men that are listening, stay locked on to the interviewers that I have to interview. I'll be linking with you all during the break.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
I was going to the Oval one evening and I stopped as it was drizzling and a radio station was on. And on that radio station, which wasn't my favorite station, but it was on in the vehicle I was in, a most vulgar and outrageous radio program was on the airwaves called The Ground Report. You all remember that? In that report, it was the nastiest, dirty. As a matter of fact, what caught my attention was how filthy the program was on our airwaves. And I was asking myself, how could this be permitted on the airwaves of Trinidad and Tobago, election or no election? And it was all about me and my father and my mother and this, and I had raped this and I had done that, and the Ground Report. They want to know what the plan is. The plan is to put an end to this.
Looking for top quality and affordable hardware supplies? Then look no further than Midland Hardware, number 97 Eastern Main Road, Arouca. We stock a wide range of tools, water tanks, blocks, lumber, steel, and everything you need for your home and business project. Check out our new display of steel windows and assorted designs of metal curtain rods. Midland also stockpiles sand, gravel, topsoil, and more. We have a variety of kitchen faucets, face basins, and toilet sets, bathroom mat sets, all garden tools, hand tools, generators, power washers, and water pumps. Customers can make payments via links, credit card, online payment, and cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 for free quotations, or give us a call at 646-2144. Open every day, Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland.
A lucky homeowner will win a brand new car. Yes! A brand new Mitsubishi Expander Cross. Yes, park in your 4-vehicle parking space. Limited availability. Get in a gear with DG Homes' newest gated community, Daniel Estate. The oasis of Cunupia will satisfy your needs for a new lifestyle. Beautifully designed, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, modern interior, sophisticated finishings, with superbly manicured landscaped green spaces, front and backyard included, starting at $1.65 million. Call now and book a viewing. 691-5659. Beautiful home, beautiful car, beautiful life. Home is DG Homes, Daniel Estate, Cunupia.
Hey, you! Yes, you! Need quality printing at affordable prices? Then look no further. At Graphic Source, we've got you covered. Take your project to the next level for all your designs and printing needs. From t-shirt printing to labels, signs, and banners. Look no further. Business stamps, flyers, tickets, and invites, just to name a few. With 2 convenient locations. Eastern Main Road, St. Augustine, opposite Massey's Doors. And Arima Shopping Center, Broadway Street, Arima. Contact us today. 342-2664, 270-0428, or 360-8917. Graphic Source. Sauce, your #1 sauce. You name it, we design it and print it.
Chinese and Ari Restaurant. Open for breakfast and lunch. 7 days a week.
6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
67 Western Main Road, St. James. Opposite Standard. Serving local breakfast items like sada, pies, fry and roasted baked. With all your favorite fillings and assorted lunches.
Available from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Get pilau as low as $25. Or get combination lunches from $25 to $40. Crab and dumpling on Fridays, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Soup Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. A la carte with burgers, fries, nuggets, gyros, loaded hot dogs. Just about anything you could think about. From 6 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. For more information, call 382-9347 to place your order. Chinese and Ari Restaurant. Open 7 days a week at St. James.
The big question today, how much will my electricity bill increase? Stop worrying. Act now. Replace your bulbs with energy-efficient LED bulbs now available at Trinity Lighting. When you purchase 4 60-watt LED bulbs for $112.50, you get 2 absolutely free. That's right, absolutely free. Or purchase 3 100-watt LED bulbs for the same price and get 1 100-watt LED bulb free. Trinity also has the following options. Purchase 2 4-foot LED tube or 1 8-foot or 2 LED colored bulbs for the same price, $112.50. At Trinity, we also stock specialty items and a wide range of electrical supplies for all your household, medical, marine, commercial, and much more. Any hard-to-find bulbs or parts, we can source it locally or internationally. Check us out at 123 Western Main Road in St. James or call 628-8373, WhatsApp 461-8620 or email trinityetc@yahoo.com.
The Ground Report with Mikey K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
More FM 104.7.
Yes, indeed. Of course, we are back. Time check is just about, of course, 28 minutes past the hour, 7 o'clock. And of course, we continue. Andy is doing the needful. That is to say, he is making arrangements to get in contact with the planned interview this morning as far as a number of persons connected to the PAN fraternity, yes, the steel band fraternity, but may have a different portfolio or positions in terms of the development of the instrument and the direction in which it must go. And of course, and this very troubling scenario, I personally am very, very concerned about the Desperados being, of course, given $14 million facility on Nelson Street for obvious reasons. I don't think we need to harp on that. But this morning we expect to interview Dane Gulston, Aru Hernandez, Abubakar,
Ford Abubakar,
of course, and Earl Morris as well. So Andy will, of course, do the needful in terms of who would be on first. We have, right. Of course, Brian Surratt as well. This gentleman is the Vice President of
the former Vice
of knowledge. Okay.
With a wealth of knowledge. The former Vice President.
Former
Vice President of
Brian Surratt, yes.
Yes, Brian Surratt.
Is he? We
have him, but while you're there with him, I'm trying to see that other conference, to get the other calls. But Mr. Skerritt, you are there? Good morning to you.
Yes, I am.
Very good,
yes,
man.
You are. All right, Mr. Sir, good morning to you. Of course, Lennox Smith here with my co-host.
Wait.
And
I have to when you have to just link the rest there quick.
Oh, you're doing everything one time, or is it that I can
one
talk
time?
with him?
No, because you're going to lose him when I make any call.
Oh, I see.
It's conference. At a conference, everything.
Well, let me try to get those clips together.
Yeah, get those clips together by the time.
Yes, of course. People, as we have been saying since yesterday, our concern has to do with the development of the fraternity. Of course, only I think last week, the PAN was considered to be the national instrument in legislation. It was not even though it was declared, was not, of course, enshrined in legislation. And of course, there are a number of other things that has developed over the evolution of the pan. One of which is a pan day, a steel band day, recognized by the United Nations. I think that's a big one. That's an iconic recognition. And of course, in order for Trinidad and Tobago not to allow the horse that would have already been bolted out of the stable, so to speak, we are now looking to salvage our pride of place and the supremacy of Trinidad and Tobago as the birthplace of the pan and steel band. And rather than it having to be, should I say, dissipated and thinned across the globe, because of course, you know, if you go to Barbados, they will tell you that they are the home of steel pan as well. And if you go to Japan, because of their production there, you will also hear that that they somehow have been connected to the steel pan without recognizing Trinidad and Tobago. So I think with the legislative backing and the fact that we are now able to claim internationally those who let's say are attempting to usurp and to promote themselves as the mecca of the steel pan and the inventors thereof, will not be able to get that opportunity inclusive. I'm sure that certain other legal rights that is internationally recognized, such as, of course, what is called creative rights. I'm sure that all of that would have been considered when making Trinidad and Tobago in legislation in our parliament, the instrument that is, of course, the national instrument called steel pan in Trinidad and Tobago. So it's important, but statements that were recently made are extremely troubling because, of course, as you know, quite a lot of land was given to the pan Trinbago some time ago, nearly 2 decades ago, if so long, under the Pandey administration. So you can do your own, what I consider to be evaluative analysis in terms of the time. But what is important is that the plans that that piece of land was supposed to be used for has been scuttled by the present administration, looking, of course, and administration in two contexts: the Pan Trinbago administration and that of the government, who vicariously or by authority would have agreed to give Pan Trinbago that parcel of land at Trin City. So it is troubling because here it is, the Pan Trinbago administration has agreed to give back that piece of land in order to get a facility on Donald Street in Port of Spain. And we are extremely concerned as to the value and the cost value benefits, and whether or not such analysis would have taken place in order to treat with that, and what are the advantages and disadvantages. There are some who are pro, there are some who are con, and there are some who are very passionate about either side of the argument. So that is why we have today's exercise, to get a feel and an understanding. Of course, my own personal beef is putting desperados on Nelson Street and Dr. Rowley. I should say knowingly, conscientiously knowing that that is a no-no, but still pursued it and mamagaing the desperados and the Laventil people by telling them that tourists will gravitate to that venue in order to listen to arguably the sweetest pan, or should I say the sweet pan.
But the major issue is the land issue here, boy. That land, and I know you talk about the land with that desperados too, eh? Right. Yeah. I know you talk about the land with
intertwine both because it is simply a concern that every Laventilian will have specifically. But remember, we are the inventors. I mean, Winston Spree, Simon, etc. And therefore, we have a right to, of course, express our concern. Quite apart from Rudolph Stiles' innovative skills that, of course, brought the steel pan to where it is today. In general, and therefore, we have the authoritative right to, of course, comment on that gesture that really and truly is handing to desperados a whole bouquet of poison ivy, frankly. So are we ready, Andy?
Yes, I ain't getting on to Mr. Earl, but we may be able.
But how many we have online so far?
Just now, let me just. Mr. Earl phone is ringing here. I hope
once again, people, of course, we have several persons. We are doing a kind of round robin,
Right.
so to speak. The technology provides for that, and therefore we are utilizing it to the best of our ability. We will have, of course, everybody on simultaneously. We are trying to get, of course, Dane Gonzalez.
Right there, everybody's here.
Hernandez.
Yeah, everybody's here. Lennox Smith.
Earl, okay.
We then get on to Earl Morris. But what will go on is while we are interviewing, anybody that can get on to Earl, by the meanwhile, because I wouldn't be able to use my phone while we're on the interview to try to get back on thing. With our other phone, and let me call my phone, and I can join you. Just now.
There's only men there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Just, let him call my phone, gentlemen, and I will organize and I will take his call and join him with the same number that I have for him. As long as I see that number calling, I will join him onto the conference with us. So if right.
So gentlemen, what can let's just put our house in order. You introduce yourself, and of course we will lay the foundation for the discussion this morning, and that is fundamentally that we know that Trinbago has now given up a huge parcel of land for in exchange for our headquarters in Port of Spain. We would like to know more about that. What are your views, and whether or not the Pan fraternity, both direct and indirect here meaning that people may not be members, but like me, a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, and I recognize it as our national instrument, something that we could take pride in. And therefore, of course, it is a troubling development, particularly when the parcel of land is being swapped for a cricket academy, which we could probably some argue without, but that is not the issue here. We want to deal with specifically with whether or not it is an advantage to the Pan fraternity and your views being involved intrinsically or otherwise in this particular development of aspect of development in Trinidad and Tobago. So any one of you can take it. Just introduce yourself, and then you can give your comments, your opening remarks if you want, and then of course we'll give way to the other person who is also online with us at this time.
Nice. So what I will also do is we will first start with which is good, the former vice president. Why would he? What about this interferes with you, or do you believe it's a good deal? Were you on the board that came up with taking that type of deal?
Let him tell us how it has developed, because I'm sure he would have wanted to know, and he would have been part of the previous incarnation. So let's hear from you, Mr. Surratt.
Okay, good morning again.
Yes.
I was the vice president of Pan Trinbago from 2009, October 2009 to October 2016.
Okay.
When I resigned.
All right.
The award of the award of the property in Twin City was made in 2001.
Right.
I have been involved in Pan Trinbago since its inception in 1971.
Oh, great.
So I'm familiar with administrations from then to now.
Yes.
I am also familiar with the constitutional arrangements of Pan Trinbago. And as an organization incorporated by an act of parliament, Act 5 of 1986, then it behooves Pan Trinbago to act in a legal manner. The legal manner is that the primary thing, as I said, is the act. And out of the act recognizes the constitution of Pan Trinbago, and it recognizes the central executive of Pan Trinbago. Those are two things that are mentioned in the act.
Okay.
And nothing in the act can be different from the constitution. I mean, nothing in the Constitution, sorry, can differ from what the Act says. Having said that, the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago that has been developed, because there were previous constitutions, has developed where Trinidad and Tobago is a very collaborative type of organization, meaning that there is a lot of discussion and the steelband men are always involved. Not only the leadership, not only the exec, not only the captain or the delegate, but ever since NATS, which is the forerunner of Trinidad and Tobago, there has been collaboration with the membership. A member doesn't have to be a delegate to come to a meeting to speak and give an opinion. Trinidad and Tobago, up until this president, has always recognized the value of its membership, whether as a delegate or whether not as a delegate. And things like that land up in Twin City, there must be extensive discussion with the membership as to what should or should not be done with it. I remember.
Did it, to your knowledge, did it have intensive discussion with the members?
This is exactly where I'm going right now.
Nice. We are
exactly
listening.
Where I'm going.
I want to call in your name while you're talking.
I am hearing a comment.
Yeah.
I heard the president of Trinidad and Tobago in an interview mention rather flippantly when the question was asked, have you consulted with your membership? And she said, well, yeah, everybody agree. And no, that is not how these things go. That is not according to the constitutional arrangements or the practice of Trinidad and Tobago. That is something that, if it has to be discussed, it has to be put on an agenda for a meeting. It has to be put on an agenda so that the membership
very formal, according to the Constitution.
Yes, Trinidad and Tobago's meetings are held in accordance with the Constitution, or should I say, Trinidad and Tobago's meetings are supposed to be held in accordance with the Constitution. This president does not hold meetings in accordance with the Constitution.
And you're referring here to Beverly Ramsey Moore, right?
Beverly Ramsey Moore.
Yes,
she's listening. Yes, she's listening. Go ahead.
She does not hold meetings in accordance with the Constitution. And when you hold a meeting that is not in accordance with the Constitution, then it does not form part of the record of the organization. And people don't understand what that means. Okay? So that she did not put that on any agenda. And as is her practice when she wants to get through with something that she feels she wants to get through with, she has somebody in the meeting move a motion.
Okay.
I bet you move that so and so. Or somebody will bring up something as part of a discussion in the middle of a meeting. Where people in that meeting don't know that was going to be discussed in that meeting. And then she takes a vote and she has some people who would say yes to it. And it seems to be passed. But it cannot pass the smell test of legality and constitutionality. So that decision to take, to exchange the land in Twin City for a piece of land in Rachel Road. Let me give some other.
That decision that who take, all you have to call her name because the people who listen on radio.
Beverly Ramsey Moore. Beverly Ramsey Moore is the one that take the decision.
Nice, go ahead.
She took the decision in collaboration with the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
All right.
That's who she take this with. Let me say
that is categorical. Okay.
Yeah, let me say two things I want to add. One, what is the ownership of land to people on the whole and to black people in Trinidad and Tobago? What is the ownership of land? And when I say black people, I don't necessarily mean only African people. What is the ownership of land? That is over 12 acres of land that was leased to the steelband movement. You just give it up just so? And listen to me carefully, never make the other point. It is leased for if I remember rightly, a sick building on Rachel Road, that has been abandoned for so long. And I want to add one thing to the conversation here that I've heard nobody talk about yet. There are plans afoot for the development of the port of Port of Spain. The office that they are given, which is the old GPO office on Right to Road, right next to the port. I want to know where do the plans of the development and extension of the Port of Spain port, I want to know where the post office building falls into that. I will leave it there for now.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead.
Clearly, Andy, before the next participant.
He had to finish, but you saying clearly, he ain't finished yet. Go ahead. Yeah.
Me or him?
Go him. He ain't finished yet.
Okay, sorry about that. He said that he will leave it here, so I thought he had completed his first salvo. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. I will just also mention in passing, although it should take much more than that, when I speak about the ownership of land plays a major part in the psyche of any organization. So when you willy-nilly remove that, and then you say, UDCOT is going to build something there for everybody, including Pancondigo and whoever else. Let me tell you something. But that building up the road in Twin City, where it reached there in 2002 with money that was awarded. Notice I said awarded and I didn't say given. Money that was awarded to Pancondigo was used to begin the building of our headquarters. When that money ran out, the government of the day did not see it fit from 2003 to the present day. No government saw it fit to pick up the mantle and complete the building. None. In UDCOT in 2004 was the Minister of Culture at the time, Ms. Joniel Williams, handed the building over to UDCOT to complete. In 2009, in November of 2009, the executive of Pancondigo met with Mr. Calder Hart just before he handed over Napa to the government of Trinidad as a completed building. We met with him at Napa. He gave us a tour, and we spoke with him about the completion of the building up at Twin City. Mr. Calder Hart indicated to us that he was going, when in December he would have handed over Napa, he then has to go to San Fernando to complete the Southern Academy. Having completed the Southern Academy sometime in the following year, in 2010, then he would now pick up Pancondigo's headquarters as his next project. That is what Mr. Calder had told us with his own mouth.
Nice, but let me stop there. For now. Right, but let me stop there for now because.
No, I want to make a point.
Yeah,
I want to make a point. Let me finish for a minute.
Yeah, very interesting development. Go ahead.
That was the only time that it seemed as though the UDCOT was going to actually do something for Pancondigo. But Calder Hart, as we know, we wake up one morning and he was on a plane, and that was the end of that with him. We had meetings with UDCOT during the period 2010 to 2016, up to when I resigned. We had meetings with UDCOT. And UDCOT even claimed that they were never given a mandate to handle the building. My point being that from 2004 to 2024, 20 years, UDCOT did nothing for the building of a Twin City, except to make accommodation for the Chinese construction people in 2008, 2009, 2010. They did nothing to that building. So tell me what UDCOT going and doing Right to Road now? You're going to wait another 20 years for UDCOT to do something in Right to Road?
Okay.
Give me a break.
I see your point.
Very good point. Very good point.
So
give me a break.
You gave some
No.
dates.
Wait, Lennox. No.
Oh.
Fraud, we're running on time. Mr. Abu Bakr,
okay.
What's your take on this whole situation when it coming to Pancondigo and this land, right? And the president just signing up, giving back away the land. What's your take, Mr. Fraud Abu Bakr?
That's the member of the team?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Good morning to you, sir. But go ahead.
Good morning to everybody on the panel. Good morning to all the listeners. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. So I would have been informed of this development like the rest of Trinidad and Tobago through a slip by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. We were not informed about these developments from Pan Trinbago and our supposed president, We were informed about these things from a slip from the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago because a decision was made concerning our greatest asset, where a building that has reached a certain stage of development, millions of dollars have been pumped into it, and 13 acres of land that facilitate for tremendous development in a prime area has been decided upon between entities. And then this Pan Trinbago president comes into meetings where this big issue, this enormous issue for us, is not mentioned on the agenda. To just slip in that this is what has happened, the decision done make, and we have to take that, basically.
Wow.
That type of governance is what has been taking place throughout this Beverly Ramsey-Moore illegal tenure, because we have spoken in the public forum as well, and I want to raise the topic as well within the context of what we are speaking.
Yes, you go.
Because many of the actions which this president is taking,
Miss Beverly Ramsey-Moore, what's she name? Yeah. Let people hear.
Apart from there being no consultation with the membership, apart from there being wheeling and dealing behind our backs for the benefit of who? It is not Panman benefiting, It's not Panman benefiting. These wheeling and dealing that going on, the only people that we see benefiting is Miss Ramsey-Moore herself and her group of people who she feeds with the money that comes into Pan Trinbago. I don't want to digress too much. Miss Ramsey-Moore does not have a mandate to carry on in the manner in which she's carrying on. Our organization has been hijacked illegally. This president, Ms. Ramsey-Moore, extended her term in office.
What?
By
solid in other elections? Solid in other elections?
No election up
Go ahead, let the people know, Mr. Ford Abubakar. Let them know. Go ahead. How she's illegal?
We have the administration of our national instrument, of an organization that is given millions of dollars of taxpayers' money to operate what is an enormous and most important institution, holding the steel band and our music and our panorama, which is sacred to us. We have an organization which is being led by a show of hands in a meeting where Mr. Douglas Williams, I will call his name, secretary of the organization at that point in time, would have orchestrated to come and, as Mr. Syed spoke about, raise a motion. Imagine you raising a motion for people to raise hands to continue the term of a president in an organization. This is absolutely unheard of. Not the most despotic leaders on the face of the earth in Trinidad and Tobago even would attempt to continue in office illegally by that type of action. And that is what Ms. Ramsey-Moore, we have complained to NCC, we have complained to the line minister, we have written letters explaining this is not the way in which a president is supposed to be elected. It is unconstitutional. how could we are dependent upon our organization to provide for us through the state and other means certain benefits. How could we be asked to raise our hands in front of this president to support her or not support her? And every right-minded individual who disagreed and said, listen, there is a reason for secret ballots. There's a reason so that we won't be victimized. Every person who disagreed in that meeting when this illegal action was taken has been victimized thereafter. Totally victimized.
All right.
You cannot disagree. They're breaking the Constitution, and if you speak about them breaking the Constitution, you are victimized. Some of us have been banned from meetings.
Beverly Ramsey, so watch. Well, let me ask something now, Mr. Ford Abubakar. So it comes like an illegal president that raised a motion to extend the term for a year more, sign off all that land?
Yes.
That what we hear nearby?
Yes. Because from the start of this president's tenure, we have witnessed that she is not interested in running the organization according to the Constitution and in the best interest of the members of this organization. So much so that members of her team, her elected team initially, were quickly fired, were quickly removed.
So the people who was with her,
disagreed with her.
So the people who was with her when she get in, most of them not there no more. They get a short bus.
Key members of her team who would have been responsible for bringing many people to support her, bands, convincing individuals, they were removed for disagreeing with her in some of her actions, which were not in the best interest of Panchenbego and the members. This is the position. We have a terrible dictator in Miss Beverly Ramsey Moore. If you stand in a meeting to speak about an issue to try to educate the membership, you are cross-talk, shut down. I tell you, some of us not even allowed, and we legally we have a right to be in our meetings, but some of us are not allowed to go to meetings.
Wow.
We are dependent upon our administration because they select bands for different festivals, and that is how a band derives some of its revenue by taking part and playing in these festivals. If you try to educate the membership about an alternative view, this president, your band don't have a chance in competitions. In competitions that you have, they can't stop you from participating in. Your band coming last for sure. So much so that some of us from our bands have asked us, boy, all your takes, don't give so much opposition to what is being done because the band's suffering. We come in last all the time, regardless of how good we are able to play. That is what is taking place in Panchenbego. So people are afraid to speak out. And everything is
Let me ask something, Mr. Ford Abubakar. So when is the next elections due, and would Miss Ramsey Moore, Beverly Ramsey Moore, president of Panchenbego, will be calling you soon? When it is an next election, and does it have a next election guarded, and in what way?
The election was supposed to take place, and I can be corrected by the other members, 2 years ago. We are way beyond the term.
The constitutional reasonableness.
Hold on.
October 2021.
Yes.
All right.
October 2021.
So that's 3 years we have suffered.
And what is the argument for not holding those constitutionally due elections? Is there any advancement? What's the argument?
The argument the position that they put up at the time, it was COVID. The COVID
I
arrangement.
suspected that, yes. Okay.
Right.
COVID.
And what Mr. Abubakar is referring to is that at the time, although other organizations still made arrangements to keep their election because they respect the constitution and they respect the members. Remember, a constitution is a contract between and among members to run the organization in a particular way. So people respect the constitution, they respect themselves,
including a country.
and the organization.
Go ahead, yeah.
Right. So she promised at the time to hold the election when the COVID eased up, so that as 2022 was approaching, questions were asked of her as to the holding of the election. And in an extraordinary general meeting in August of 2022, they made an arrangement, and I know for a fact, and I'm going to speak here now, I know for a fact that a meeting was held in a house down in the West where it was cooked up that somebody will come and raise a motion that she remain in office for the next 2 years. And they came to that extraordinary general meeting, and in the middle of the meeting, Mr. Douglas Williams moved a motion that the president and the executive is doing such a good job that they remain in office for 2 years. For the 2 more years of the term, because of the office in 2 years. That they get up, and I beg to move that the president and the executive remain in office for the remainder of this term. And people were confused. Some people abstained, some people vote, some people didn't vote, one way or the next. Confusion reigned. Bottom line is, it was deemed to be passed socially, and then somebody said there is precedent. Well, I could discuss what the precedent is, but it's too long to talk here. It has no precedent, and there's no precedent for breaking. When you break the law, or when in a constitutional arrangement you do something that is ultra vires the constitution, and it is not brought to bear, it does not mean it is a precedent. So there's no precedent. There's no precedent. However, she remains in office because of that illegal act. Let me also say, as I indicated just now, a constitution has levels. So you have the act and you have the constitution, and then the first thing under the constitution is the convention. The convention is the highest lawmaking body of the organization. And under the convention, you have AGM, and then you have extraordinary general meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in a convention can be changed by an AGM, and nothing in an AGM could be changed by an extraordinary general meeting. So there's a hierarchy of meetings that has certain powers. So you cannot call an extraordinary general meeting and make a decision that could change something in a convention, in an AGM, or a constitution. And you cannot call an AGM to change something that is in the constitution or in a convention. So that motion was constitutionally out of place. It should not even have been considered. But as I said, a clandestine meeting was held in somebody's apartment down in the West, and the plan was hatched and cooked and actualized by Mr. Douglas Williams and others, that she remain in office all now. And you know what the travesty of all of this is?
What?
The Minister of Culture is a lawyer. I want to know, why is there a Minister of Culture? Why is there a Ministry of Culture? If the Ministry of Culture does not ensure that those entities that fall under his purview are properly run, how come the Minister of National Security making sure the police this and the other? How come the Minister of Public Utilities right now reconstructing WASA, going into TNTech, and all those entities are quote-unquote independent organizations who make their own money. Pension, they don't even make their own money, yet enough to sustain themselves. But the minister, when he was called upon to intervene in the fact that Pension Bego and Ms. Beverly Ramsey were not keeping the election, issue the asinine excuse that Panchendigo is a private entity. The Minister of Culture, who's a lawyer.
Utilizing state resources.
Utilizing state resources.
Dependent on state resources, and they see nothing morally, ethically, and constitutionally wrong with that kind of
It is wrong.
management.
It is legally wrong. It is legally wrong. And the Minister continues to support that. And I'm going on with what Abu Bakr said. Having been in the position illegally, not only that, Panchendigo's constitution is clear. All the positions in the executive are elected positions. If you take up Panchendigo's letterhead right now, you will see a range of people who are in positions on the executive who have never been elected.
Wow.
Ms. Ramsimo has appointed them. She has appointed them. So they do whatever she says.
Wow.
This state of affairs that is continuing in the culture of Trinidad and Tobago, people worrying about whether or not the parliament make PAN the national instrument. That is not the real issue. PAN has been the national instrument. That is not a real issue. I am not interested in that because that is not a real issue. A real issue is the legality and constitutionality of the operations of Panchendigo, its president and supposed executive, and the non-action of the Minister of Culture to do what is right. That is what causes crime. That is crime. What is going on in Panchendigo is crime.
And the signing off with our unconstitutional president Beverly Ramsey Moore, 15 acres of land.
Yeah.
Oh God!
I was saying before we go back there, in terms of that issue and that decision, and of course the consequences, what could remedy this situation at this point in time? Because clearly there is a need to firmly address that issue, because you cannot have people working ultra vires the law that have them there and then they arrogate onto themselves as a law unto themselves, and they therefore proceed, of course, to literally not just emasculate, but to capture the organization and outside of the Constitution. What is the remedy? That's the point I want to make.
Okay, the remedy, there are two remedies. One which we would not get, and one which we can get. One remedy is for the minister to do his work.
Okay.
One remedy is for the minister to do his work.
And you have no faith in that?
If the minister do his work, let me explain. If the minister do his work, then nobody, Mendez, Fuad, nobody had to spend money to go by a lawyer to do what is the second remedy.
Oh, I see.
The second remedy is a proper legal action against Ms. Ramsey Moore, against the secretary, because the secretary of Panchendigo is the legal officer. And I know they don't know that, but I'm saying it. The president, the secretary, and any member whose name appears on the letterhead of Panchendigo right now, all of them has to face, or I should say, supposed to face legal stricture as to what they're doing in variance to the Constitution. So the first and easiest remedy is for the minister to do his job.
All right. Why you all breaking? Why you breaking? Just now, 1 minute. Why you breaking the other remedy? Because in the meeting that we had the other night there at David Mohammed Place there, the Quarry 2 May Center. Nice. I had to say it, man. The Quarry 2 May Center, opposite Success Laboratory. Some people didn't want to go down the legal road because she can use that now to tie up or now to remain or to buy time.
I don't know why Steelbagmen keep repeating that stupidity. I don't know why Steelbagmen keep repeating that stupidity. They say that since 2022. And
yes,
nothing has been done.
It would have been remedied if they had taken action then. They said that since 2022.
Exactly my point. So here what?
What about the next remedy? The next remedy is elections to move her. So let you get all paperwork over. When is that? Right, when is that? When or let you get that?
Listen to me carefully. I don't know about other people. I do not consider that a remedy because here what? The next, and I'm saying it this way deliberately, the next time that an election is due constitutionally is between the 1st of September to the 31st of October of 2024 this year.
Right.
Okay.
But it will be very defeatist and I think kind of stupid that an illegal president is going to hold an election. All that she has been doing over the last however long is stacking the odds against anybody else who seems to want to run for president. She's been stacking the odds. So she tie up the minister, they get international pandey, they pass act in parliament. That PAN is now the national instrument, although it was all the time, it was always so. And it has some comments I will make about those two things, but I won't make it now. I will wait for them to act and then I will speak because there are many things that they think they're doing that they don't even realize they're not doing. So I won't talk about some of those things now. So it will be very stupid, I think, for an illegal regime, an illegal administration to be allowed to hold an election. How we know that election will be held in accordance with the Constitution? You have broken the Constitution in almost every other way all along the line of your tenure. Who is to say that you ain't going to change it and make it? Not to mention, I want to mention one more thing here now. That there is a supposed special convention on Sunday here.
Okay.
And I don't want to insert this just yet, but I have information. I have information in black and white, okay, of certain moves that were being made. And I think some of them might be revealed in a particular way, not in a way for people to have an opinion, but just like the headquarters, but in a way where it is a done deal, that there are certain amendments that are being suggested for the Constitution on Sunday that may cause elections to be put off by another year, or maybe another 4 years. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's as bad as that.
But what you have described to us is a quagmire. And
it is as bad.
And it appears that is a do if you're damn, don't do if you don't do you are still damn. But it must start somewhere. If steel bandmen are serious, they must. I grew up in the steel band movement, and I'm going to make a statement here that might sound. I don't know how it goes song, but I really don't care how it sounds. I'm going to make a statement here, and that is, I have never met. I know steel bandmen from since, as I said, I came into the steel band movement as a youth in the 60s, and I became involved in administrative organization of Trinbago when it was formed in 1971, and I've been involved ever since. Right. And I have never met a bunch of soft panmen as there are today. Sometimes I tell them they are not worthy of the instrument. The battles that steel bandmen fought to make sure that there is span, the leadership in steel band now not worthy of the leadership of steel band. Because the steel band movement that I knew, Beverly couldn't last as long as she would have been gone a long time and back in Black Rock licking she wounds. In the steelman movement that I knew, she couldn't last long. She couldn't pull that on no steelman men, so much so that big hardback steelman men are afraid of Beverly Ramsey more. They're afraid she victimized them. I don't know what kind of leadership that is. Well, then, in spite of your concern, you are left as the most viable remedy is the latter of the two that you mentioned, I to say, to take legal action, even
that is inclusive, the only way. Of course, I keep telling people that is the only way.
Right.
So let me ask a question. So let us suppose that she holds the election in October. Let me suppose that
she has to dissolve the executive here. And do that.
No, listen to my point. Let us suppose Right? People saying don't go the legal way, it go take too long, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let us suppose that she has her way. Let us suppose that she has her way on Sunday and she changed the constitution and she changed whatever else she wants to change. 1. 2, that she then holds an election in the next how much years? Or let us suppose that she holds an election in September, October this year. What is to prevent her from continuing to break the constitution? Tell me what? Nothing. The point is that she will continue to do whatever she feels she wants to do, and she continues to have the support of the minister, and she continues to have the unspoken support of many members who don't know better. Sorry for some of them. They don't know better, so they continue to support her blindly. And I want to say this too. I want to say this. It might sound, people might jump on me for it, but it's a fact. Some people don't like the fact. Apparently there's a woman league in San Diego. So there are some women who support Miss Ramsey Moore no matter what she does. And some of them, I'm sure they know whether it's right or wrong. But because she's a woman, they support her. You see, because she's a woman thing, that will put me in trouble in the first case. That will put me in trouble because I am not one of those. I have no issue and no problem with women in leadership. As a matter of fact, I have been involved in many organizations that was headed by women, and we had excellent relationships. I have no problem with a woman leading anything. I have a problem with an incompetent woman leading something. That's my problem.
Yes, you would have for incompetent male as well.
Just for as I commented years ago when the media called me to ask me what I think about a woman president. I told them my answer to them was, all I am interested in is that whoever takes up the reins, that they are competent. I don't care if it's a man, if it's a woman, if it's a fish, if it's a bird. I don't care. What is important to me is that the person can do the job.
All right. So it appears from what you are saying that there is a need for judicial interpretation to make sure that the precedent that would have been set ostensibly is not deviated
and her entire executive and all Steelman know and understand. That's what the law courts there for, for people to know and understand what they're supposed to be doing, that they're doing what is the right thing. Obviously, Beverly doesn't know, and obviously a lot of the members don't know. Well, I know the executive are her minions, so they don't have a clue. Some of them, I ain't sure how good they could read. I ain't sure if they could read the Constitution and understand it. I ain't sure if they ever read it at all. I ain't sure if they ever read it at all.
You are also of the view that if by virtue of calling an election, it means that the executive, the current management, would have dissolved itself in order to get that, what I consider to be renewal by virtue of an election for the different posts or different positions that are enshrined in the Constitution. And you are skeptical of that approach as well. Or are you saying that may be the best approach in all of the circumstances?
No. Right. As far as I'm concerned, the only approach to correct, because watch me, having the election is like you have a bobo. You have a bobo, and you go in the drugstore, and you buy a elastoplast, and you put it on it.
All right.
How long that elastoplast go handle that bobo?
Yeah, that put in plasters on a sore. That requires, of course, much more extensive.
Right. Which means
Thank you very much.
Which means because of the done moving unconstitutional, we may have to look out for unfair elections, as in rigging of the...
only resolution is the court. I tell people the only thing Beverly will listen to is a court, a judge. The only resolution is the court. They keep talking this nonsense about she go use it to tie it up. I never hear more foolishness in my life.
Nice.
All right, so we hear your position now. Give us your views now on the decision.
We can't do that.
That was made.
We are why.
Okay, That's it?
No, remember it's two people we talked to, and by all fairness.
We have another one.
We have two others. Mr. Dane Downson. Everybody know the Spanish man. I want to hear what Mr. Dane have to say, a gold stunt, have to say in this. But that man, you know, the pan man with his dance and spin and, oh God. Right, that man, good boy.
Andy, if you would indulge me, I would like him to focus on the decision made to give up land for, of course, that position, that property in Port of Spain, and what are the pros and cons, what are the advantages and disadvantages to the panmen. We have heard, of course, the maladministration, should I say, aspects of the management of Pan Trinbago. We will, of course, engage Miss Moore to get her side of the story, but let's hear that decision itself. I think it is extremely troubling, I'm sure, to all stakeholders beyond, of course, the Pan fraternity. Directly, yes.
That land that she gave away. Yeah. All right.
Well, good morning. Good morning to everyone.
Very good morning. Morning to you, Mr. Dane, sir.
Yeah. Firstly, I must say to my other buddies or colleagues in Steel Band who spoke before, and one particular person touched on weakness technically, all right? Weakness in terms of the membership, in terms of standing for what technically is theirs, all right? Weakness in terms of people not understanding their worth, which is panmen. Individually, panmen do not understand their worth, so they let people advantage them, if it's political or otherwise. So we know dealing with a dictator who appears to do whatever and knowing that she's allowed to do whatever she wants to do, right? So because of our weakness, this is what happened. Taking what's supposed to be one of the most important things in the history of Steel Band is to have a place. We don't have nothing. We have a pan, or we have the pan and we say it's ours, that may be it. And sometimes the way it's perceived, it comes like if it's not even ours, all right? Because we don't respect it.
All right.
Generally, I don't think Trinidad and Tobago even totally respect the pan, who exercise the business, right? Because anything at all Steel Band have to do, people does feel it should be free, right? So the respect coming from all around. Now, we had some land, 11 point something, 12 acres of land, all right? Now they are saying they're going to have a cricket academy. Why could not have been a pan academy, all right? And we have different businesses right in there. Have an amphitheater, making sure we have a Starbucks, making sure we have a gas station, making sure that we have something to build the organization, all right? To show the world that, listen, you come from the airport, this is Pan Trinbago, owned by Pan Trinbago. But what happened, because we're weak, generally, and we totally don't respect the pan, right? If it's administration or governance, and I talk about government of the day, to me personally, whoever it is, really and truly, most of the time, do not show that they totally respect it. That they really respect it, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago would have stand up and say no, or they can't do pan that. But I ain't hearing nobody really talking and making us think about.
In actual fact, you are saying that the government ought not to have even contemplated to actualize that switch. And if it's anything important, it should add rather than swap one for the other.
A minister, a minister of culture, culture and otherwise should not even stand for that. Because this is Trinidad and Tobago soul, you know. Right. Pan is our soul, right? I could talk about it because I told the world playing pan. This is my life. This is what I feed my family with, pan, right? So my point is, if you're a minister and understand the value of Pan Trinbago having this land, you wouldn't say, you know what? No, you wouldn't just give it up. You will encourage your other colleagues in Parliament not to do so. That is my thing. You understand? You see, it's bigger than, because it's way bigger than just Pan Trinbago. This is nation.
Mr. Sewett had mentioned, and I think I'll take it up with you, mentioned that UDCOT, from their understanding, was supposed to, of course, conclude the construction of the facility that is there now. No, I'm saying this against the background, not only to bring it as part of the discussion, but not to water down anything or to create any kind of further controversy. But it's important that we say it. That our understanding is in the media that there was a sufficiency amount of funds to complete the construction of that building.
But we just have money to pay. We just have money to do all different things.
Corruption, something like corruption.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, right? We just find money to do all the wrong things to me in Trinidad and Tobago, but we don't find the money to do the right thing. We just find money to do all kind of things, all kind of different constructions you see going up all over the place. Sometimes illegal, sometimes illegal, right? They do find money, and I will go on a different note to me personally, as a Trinbagonian and ambassador, right? You see, when it comes to culture, really and truly paying to Mr. Culture, we do not spend enough time and we do not spend enough money. We never had money. If the National Steel Orchestra, I will go further. National Steel Orchestra came from Japan or China somewhere. The Japanese, right, whoever bought them there, consulate or whoever bought them there, paid for certain things while they're there. Everything else. When the pans come here, the government of the day and people of the day, they didn't want to pay to make sure they pay for the freight as a national, and we call them quote unquote national instrument. Nobody is supposed to, they ain't supposed to have no problem. Plenty steel bands that approach governance or government to have concerts, to try and help themselves. Sometimes they don't give you nothing. Or if they give you anything, it comes like you're always begging. But they were 30 and 40 tickets are just trying to show you to come to the same event that you're struggling to make something of yourself. My point is, I do not see enough when it comes to people really and truly honoring the steel band movement, right? Yes, I understand. If it's a sellout, it's a sellout. Coming from our governance, right? But my thing is, this is further than just Pan Trinbago, just giving it up. It's sad to see our people who actually in power saying, you know what, Pan shouldn't have this. Give them something else, and we go try and do whatever you want to do somewhere else. No, our headquarters not even supposed to be at that land. That's supposed to be, if you want to call it a business hub, business model, or whatever it is. And they build something else for Pan Trinbago, or we get somewhere else to make sure that our offices and all of that somewhere else, with Port of Spain or whatever it is. But that was supposed to be a Pan Academy, not Cricket Academy. How much things really and truly other than Pan? We don't even have a proper chrome factory here. Look into them things. We could have a chrome factory right there. We could be printing T-shirts right there in the land, doing everything for steel, for the Pan. You understand? Coming and proudly from whoever is in power, government, because this is an honor to even spend money on culture and show the other people all over the world this is what we honor. We do honor it. I Dean Golson, saying that we do not generally honor the steel pan. That's how I feel about all the going on, who sell out and who didn't sell out and who take whatever they had to take and whatever it is, right? And they're taking it because we are saying we, because we weak. Like you're going to have a festival, wherever festival it is, all right? If you want to do festival is supposed to be planned like 2-3 years before, at least 2 years before, right? And also, when we have Panorama, which is the biggest thing when it comes to bands performing and the people, right? You're supposed to be promoting festival in Panorama and letting people know all over the world that we have in a festival. Festival is not a cheap thing. Now you having festival for what? And the steel band men still going to get what? To spend money that they don't have. You don't have no money. Festival I play in most of the festival, right? It is a very, very costly thing. Festival about honor, right? But men still jump and say they're going. Before the talk about, listen to me now, we running under a real dictatorship governance, call election, and let me see. So if you come into power and you want to have anything else, fine. You're legally there. But you're illegal, right? And doing stuff. Constitutionally, you're illegal. And Panman just sitting back and encouraging that.
Nice. I wonder if you're hearing me because I catching my tail to get Lennox. All right, so hold 1 minute, Mr. Dalston.
I'm trying to get in something as well, and
right.
I'm not
hold 1 minute,
hold
1 minute, Mr. Dale Goldston, one of the best pan men that I know. One more person, because we can't have big people on the phone have to take part of this, and everybody that we have on the phone.
We have another member of the panel. All right.
Yes, Mr. R. Hernandez. Mr. Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, of course, if you're hearing me, the take is that you could start anywhere in the discussion, because I think we have had the major issues, which of course is the decision, the governance structure, the adherence or non-adherence to the Constitution, and the government approach to this whole matter. So you could start wherever you wish in order to, of course, give some clarity and your own perspective to this clearly quagmire that has beset the pan fraternity in Trinidad and Tobago.
And the most important one is the land, just give it.
Wherever you wish to start.
You go ahead, Mr. Hernandez. Oh, I wonder if he's still there. Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. Hernandez?
Oh, well, I think we lose.
Is there?
I think we lose Mr. Hernandez.
All right,
now, we have three on. Most importantly, we have the president.
We can ask any one of them to, in their conclusion, we'll ask everybody to give us a conclusion, what are their views, and how they see the pan fraternity moving forward, because there must be a solution to this very complex and seemingly intractable situation at this time.
And must be a way for them to get back on their land.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And we don't mind if you say that there has to be a change of government as well.
Yeah,
I want to throw something else.
Yeah.
You know, people comment about my knowledge and my experience. I want to throw something else. I want to throw something else in the discussion before we close.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Eric Williams had given Pancho Bigu or the Steel Band movement land
Lennox,
in Shagarama.
I sent something for you. Right? Okay. From which, let me say a pleasant good morning to Peter Kanhai, who was very instrumental in Pancho Bigu getting that same land Trin City. A pleasant good morning to you, Mr. Peter Kanhai. Oh boy. Lennox Smith, you have it there. Go ahead,
right.
former vice president.
Right. I'm happy that Mr. Kanhai is on the line, because what I've just started to say would touch on his experience, knowledge, and information.
Nice.
So back then, Dr. Eric Williams awarded land to the Steel Band movement in Shagarama. I remember as a little fella going on in Shagarama, and it just a Steel Band concert and show. When I became older and Pancho Bigu was formed, there was a building when you turn from Tembladora and you're going there where there's the big pave area, there used to be a building there that was left by the Americans. And Punch and Bigo occupied that building. They occupied the building and all their records was put in that building. And they used to keep seminars and training courses in that building back in the 70s, 71, 72, 73, 74. And I pause at 74 because in 1974, the Chagaramas Development Authority came into being. The law was passed for the Chagaramas Development Authority in 1974. And you know what was one of the first acts of the Chagaramas Development Authority? They got into a fight with Punch and Bigo over the ownership of the lands in Chagaramas. So there was a battle going on between Punch and Bigo and the Chagaramas Development Authority. The Chagaramas Development Authority's position, and they say it was backed by the act. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, and I examined the whole act. But they say all the lands in Chagaramas now fall under their purview. And Punch and Bigo said, well, that may be so, but this land was given to us by the Prime Minister. So much so that even while I was the Vice President, I saw a WASA bill with the name Punch and Bigo for water rates for Chagaramas. So if that is not evidence, well, I don't know what is. Anyway, Punch and Bigo wake up one morning to the news that the CDA had demolished the building and taken everything, their records, their everything, and carted it away to the dump. So that is the respect that has been meted out to the steel band movement through the years. And there continued to be a battle between the CDA, silently under the radar, between the CDA and Punch and Bigo for all years. When Patrick Arnold came into office, and then the Pandey government came in 1995, and Patrick Arnold came into office in 1996 as the president of Punch and Bigo. Mr. Kanai I know Mr. Kanai was part of the negotiation that caused Punch and Bigo to not give up their rights to the land in Chagaramas, but to turn their heads away a little bit and to seek an alternative for the headquarters. And lands of colony were being allocated, and those acres of land, first was one portion and then there was an increase, for the lands in Twin City to be awarded to Punch and Bigo. And that happened in about 2001. So I'm saying all this to say, if a proper negotiation was made by the present administration, if the present administration of Punch and Bigo had the moral authority to discuss with all of their membership, or if they had the respect to discuss with all of their membership, there would have been a solution to the matter of the lands at Chagarama, at Twin City. But let me just give you my 2 cents on that matter. If it is, now, as far as I'm concerned, it have land all over Trinidad and Tobago. The only land you could find to develop another cricket academy is Punch and Bigo land. It had no other land nowhere else that you could do that.
Wow, very good point.
So, right? So just think about it. It had land all over Trinidad and Tobago, but the only place you could find to develop a cricket academy is in the lands of Punch and Bigo. Why you develop a cricket academy somewhere in Tobago?
Agreed. We'll see that the administration agreed.
Yeah.
So,
right?
It's really a question.
I finished my point. So, you decide that is what you want for whatever reason, right? For whatever reason. I don't know the reasoning. For whatever reason, you feel that is what you want. Okay. Well, hear what my negotiating position would have been. If you want to take back that land that was given to me so that I could turn my head away from Chagarama, then I shall return my head to Chagarama. And I wanted a portion of land in Chagarama that is equal to or not less than the acreage in Twin City. so that I can build my headquarters and do all the other things that can be done in lands of Shagaramas. I shall sit and negotiate with you which lands in Shagaramas would be to the best of my my aspirations. I wouldn't give it up for some sick building in Right Road.
Sick building, yes. Boy, your words, boy, your choice of words. A sick building.
There's something there's a reason why it closed down. There's a reason why that building closed down, you know. A sick building is a building where the workers should not be put to work. That is one of the reasons why that building sat there for how long it sat down there. It is a sick building. I was a public servant and I was a union member. I was an executive of my union, so I know what I'm talking about when I talk about sick building.
Yeah, just like the
moral integrity.
Yeah, but wait. Yeah. We only have 8 minutes, right? And then I will love Lennox Smith to deliberate there now on that letter there, that Sunday Express.
Sunday Express.
Yes, and deliberate on what was the land intended to have. Right, well, I could deliberate on that. So, Trinidad and Tobago, Lennox Smith will deliberate on the letter we seen Basio Pande playing pan with the former Pan Trinbago, Patrick Arnold, and all those different things. And also deal with that. And I'm going to deal with the fact, which is what the land was intended to have. It was the headquarters to have a gas station, a pan factory, a chrome plate, a chrome plant. Oh, a chrome plant. That's like what Dane Dunson Panis mentioned. Hotel and conference center. Mm-hmm.
Right. Let me just say that the application for a gas station was put in there.
Well, all right.
There was an application for a gas station there.
Work for the statutory regulations. Wow.
Well, all right. But hold on. Go ahead with Lennox Smith. Lennox Smith, go ahead because the time.
Can you have Kanai on the line? Talk to Kanai too.
No, Mr. Kanai is not in line, but he's listening. And on the real evidence, is being. He's working on the situation. To the real evidence is being sent to us, whether it be papers from when, whether it be deeds, whether it be what, everything. Remember, we in the media, we have to make sure we get everything when we talk. So, Lennox Smith, go ahead, Lennox Smith.
It's the Sunday Express article of November 18, 2001. The article headline: PM, government will build PAN headquarters. And let me just read the first two paragraphs. Of course, it was done by Terry Joseph, and it says, even as he handed over instruments of ownership of a parcel of land valued at some $9 million to PAN Trinbago, Prime Minister Basio Pande yesterday said government would fund the cost of constructing the Pan Buddies headquarters on the site. The second paragraph goes, he was at the time delivering the feature address at a ceremony on site to mark the occasion. And of course, it is quoting the Prime Minister here now. You come up with the plan for your headquarters and I will find the money to build it. Pande also pledged government's financial support for next July's World Steel Band Music Festival. Well, of course, that...
No, continue next article. It's very important. Go ahead. The third one. Yeah, the third one.
The
next paragraph. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 8 acre, so 8 acres and all, 8 acre parcel situated off of the westbound lane of the Churchill Roosevelt Highway. Highway, of course, Highway, Orange Grove Estate near Trin City Mall was acquired from Caroni 1975 Limited. In addition to Pan Trinbago's headquarters, the building will house a performance center and offices for the Buddies Eastern region. That is what that paragraph says.
Nice.
You want me to go further?
No. We have 5 minutes. We go have to wrap up.
Yeah.
Then, so gentlemen,
we'll probably read a little more
tomorrow, please.
Because this will not end here.
No.
I still have to look at I wanted to get their views on Desperados as an objective and not as a member.
We'll be next week again.
Just as a citizen.
We will be next week again. On Wednesdays, we organize it and giving them time because we have to get this pan thing right.
Right. Because I want to ventilate my baby.
Right.
Which of course is
my thing on the whole is the land.
Nelson Street.
The land. The land. Get back the land. And it's only a government could give them back their land or give them land in Chakaramas or give them land. At the end of the day,
rescind that decision.
It's a totally, government. And we don't know.
Totally not consistent.
And we don't know how this government is thinking. We already know how this government is thinking. You understand? So we know how this government is thinking. So we know how to operate. So all the gentlemen will soon be smart enough to be able to do all you have to do because the end of the day it's about the pan. Right? I got to read and spell. Because the end of the day, it was a government gave all you. A government technically take it back. All you have to get back, a government take it all you. It is what it is. Right. So all the closing comments there. Next week, please God, we will talk about all these things. Quick closing comments by the three gentlemen. Quick. Because it's 3 minutes to the hour of 9 o'clock. Quick closing comments. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Each one a second. Go ahead.
Who went first?
All right, you go ahead, former president, vice president.
Yeah, don't consume too much time on waiting.
All right, I will.
Yeah, I'm here, but
my closing comment is that I am. What should I say? I'm sorry for the organization of which I've been a member for the major part of my life. We seem to have lost our spine, and not to mention the fact that the lip service that continues to be paid by the government and ministers and many people in the private in the life, people really don't care. What Dane said is the facts, and the evidence is there to show. People really don't care about pan. So all these cosmetic things about international steel pan day and making pan the national instrument, those are cosmetics. I'm not interested in the cosmetics. There are many real and serious things that can be done that could have ensured that the pan is much further than where it is.
Okay.
It is
all right, thanks very much. We have to conclude. Next quickly.
Mr. Fred Abubakar. Mr. Fred Abubakar. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I have some experience in politics as well. And what I want to say to people is that a promise is always a comfort to a fool. And we need to look towards the reality of the situation, and we have seen where the reality of what we have is being given away, and we have been given a promise. You know what is real? What is real is every year we are now paying Pantrinbago, is now paying Mr. Randall Mitchell almost $1 million to rent.
Oh God! So Pantrinbago paying a minister almost $1 million a year?
Yeah, that's the Abercrombie Street facility that they're moving to. Yeah, we have some videos on that. But thanks very much.
No. Go ahead, Abubakar. Go ahead. Say we are right where you say.
This is what is real. I'm not talking about what is promised, waterfront, whatever area, port, something. What is real is that we have a start of a building, millions of dollars, and land worth millions of dollars that has been given away. And now we are still renting decades later. And of all the people in the world we could have rented from, we're renting from the line minister, and he's putting almost $1 million in his pocket, and we are still homeless. And that position for Pantrinbago is not the position that we should be in.
Wow. Last one. Wow.
You're closing remarks.
Identify yourself so we will know who.
Yeah, Dane.
Hey, Dane, man. Boy, I love to watch you play pan and dance and move up and things.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate that very much. It's clear to show that nasty politics do not work for culture. You understand? Nasty politics, because we cannot push out that the so-called president of the day of Pantrinbago, right, is also a politician.
And we have to understand. And Panmen, please try and educate yourself when it comes to everything, your instruments and your values. The country right now, right, depending on you when it comes to showing the value of culture. That's Panmen. You understand? So I want us as Panis to understand their values. So we will not be taken advantage of. And I feel we always being taken advantage of because people do not understand and they don't take the time to educate themselves on what is right and what is theirs. Understand what you have and stand up for what you have. Victimization is only for a period of time, you know. But it will, when you do what you have to do, it will go down as you fight for yours because it's yours. I was the external relations officer, and when I tell Beverly, you're doing it wrong. No. So you want dashboard puppy to lead you, dashboard puppy to be all a yes. No, you can't do that. Can't have it. So,
and what she do here?
Politics.
And what she do here? She do anything for standing up for
push out.
She throw you out there and then she throw you out.
Let's explain this. You know what I did? Right? I did what I think was right. I was voted in. I spent my time. When I think it was supposed to have election, I sent in a letter stating I don't want no part of this because it's wrong. You understand? The membership put me in here for a period of time, and I feel the time has come for them to, if they want, vote me back in or put me back or say no. You understand? So I did what I think is the right thing. I did what I think was the constitutional thing, right? Because that is what was technically keeping me in line, the Constitution. And it was totally thrown out of the window for their own personal gain. That is what I see. You understand? So I spent my time and I left because I think that is the people who are in charge really is the membership, you know. The membership is in charge, not Beverly Ramsey more. But if the membership weak, we will take advantage. And we weak. I know what I'm saying. We weak. We're showing it all the time. And we don't understand how valuable we are. We're playing in Panorama. Panorama money is supposed to be more money than that. That's what we're supposed to be fighting for. Panorama money is supposed to be $10 million. Because there's a lot of money bands will be playing, that be going and spending in Panorama. But look what we'll do with a stand up and hustle. $1 million cannot pay a steel band, or 900,000 cannot pay a steel band for winning. That $1 million is supposed to be the last place in the finals of Panorama. But we just stand up for that. We don't understand our values. We bring in money, we bring in millions of dollars into the covers of the government, but we don't see our value. And we just take it every year and jump up and everybody good and everybody happy and everything. You understand? We had to wake up and smell the coffee.
Nice.
Yes.
Next week, please go out again, Trinidad and Tobago. We will have this.
And the good message.
Yes.
Good message for even Chuta.
Yeah,
Chuta, and if my memory serves me right, was it they might have had a better chairman in Mr. Amar? I think he had contested. I think some time ago the chairmanship of Pantrin Bego. I may be wrong. I'm sure that
I think so because she went up with he too better. He and all the get you.
Yeah, best they choose a man who have the experience and who continues, of course, in spite of that. Because only this year was it the Kiskidi or something. So Caravan continued, and he seemed to be immersed in culture in such a way that that kind of tragedy that they are now unfolding and publicly expressing certainly would not have been. I'm sure Mr. Amar would have never swapped that huge piece of real estate for that minuscule piece of Port of Spain property.
No, as the former president said, with
the larger piece.
Sick building. We say a sick building.
According to one of them.
The receipt, a sick building.
Yeah. It is a sick decision, in other words. But of course, people, we are very objective. We will, of course, try to get in contact with Miss Moore, Ramsey Moore, to find out her side of it, and how come, and whether or not it's in the best interest of the Pan fraternity that decision was made. I'm sure that she would have had a perspective, and of course some of the goings on as far as administration and adherence or non-adherence to the constitution of the organization. All of those we will of course do in future programs. So we have a lot to talk about, because it is, after all, the national instrument is at stake here.
Nice. So Mr. X is already in the building since about 5:30. Yeah? Thanks so much, Mr. X, and thanks so much for all of you all. I will be keeping in communication with you all for next week, please God, for you all to come again while we try to get in contact with Miss Ramsey Moore. Right? Because my question again is how you could give up all our land, boy. Wow. And not add to it. Add to what it is. What it have. Wow. MP under pressure. Nearly 9 years, 10 years. Miss Ramsey Moore, government in power. And look at the position she's holding. And she ain't get a license or himself get the help to at least complete Panjun Bego, stay there, land there, bring in the gas station, start the pan factory. The P&M there, nearly 10 years. Oh, God.
Because remember, we are hearing different levels of stories. There are different levels, different versions. Because you're hearing one is corruption. They got all the money in the beginning. And then, of course, we're hearing now, well, of course, the article confirmed that the government had committed itself to construction. So we are clear on that. But there was, of course, a rumor that they got the money and they filtered it out under, waste and mismanagement. So that is something that needs to be cleared up. And the role of UDCUT in the whole process, and why it is that
we had to go, Lennox Smith. Everybody, we have to go.
UDCUT didn't complete the exercise. Yes, go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, yes, I'm senior, Mrs. Amar. Trinidad and Tobago, after God, family comes first. Be safe on the nation's roads. Until tomorrow morning, please God, coming up next, Sense and Sensibility. Mr. X is already in the building, so just playing the disclaimer. And until tomorrow, please God, we are out of here.
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates, accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information provided during this commercially booked segment as the truth. That you have to judge for yourself. We, however, reserve the right to question statements made. But in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption, it is sometimes hard to get the truth. But we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our opinion, and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. More FM Limited takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
Mr. X.
Chinese and Ari Restaurant. Open for breakfast and lunch. 7 days a week.
6 a.m. to 10 p.m.
67 Western Main Road, St. James. Opposite Standard. Serving local breakfast items like sada, pies, fry and roasted baked. With all your favorite fillings and assorted lunches.
Available from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Get pilau as low as $25. Or get combination lunches from $25 to $40. Crab and dumpling on Fridays, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Soup Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. A la carte with burgers, fries, nuggets, gyros, loaded hot dogs. Just about anything you could think about. From 6 p.m. Sunday to Sunday. For more information, call 382-9347 to place your order. Chinese and Ari Restaurant. Open 7 days a week at St. James.
Double the vibes and double the flavor. KFC's in a